Strange Meeting by Wilfred Owen, 1893 to 1918. It seemed that out of battle I escaped, down some profound dull tunnel long since scooped, through granites which titanic wars had groined. Yet also there encumbered sleepers groaned, too fast in thought or death to be bestirred. Then, as I probed them, one sprang up and stared with piteous recognition in fixed eyes, lifting distressful hands as if to bless. And by his smile I knew that sullen hall, by his dead smile I knew we stood in hell. With 1,000 fears that vision's face was grained, yet no blood reached there from the upper ground, and no guns thumped or down the flues made moan. "Strange friend," I said, "here is no cause to mourn." "None," said the other, "save the undone years, the hopelessness. Whatever hope is yours was my life also. I went hunting wild after the wildest beauty in the world, which lies not calm in eyes or braided hair, but mocks the steady running of the hour, and if it grieves, grieves richlier than here. For by my glee many men have laughed, and of my weeping something had been left, which must die now. I mean the truth untold, the pity of war, the pity war distilled. Now men will go content with what we spoiled, or discontent, boil bloody and be spilled. They will be swift, and with swiftness of the tigress. None will break ranks though nations trek from progress. Courage was mine, and I had mystery. Wisdom was mine, and I had mastery. To miss the march of this retreating world into vain citadels that are not walled. Then, when much blood had clogged their chariot wheels, I would go up and wash them from sweet wells, even with truths that lie too deep for taint. I would have poured my spirit without stint, but not through wounds, not on the cess of war. Foreheads of men have bled where no wounds were. I am the enemy you killed, my friend. I knew you in this dark, for so you frowned yesterday through me as you jabbed and killed. I parried, but my hands were loath and cold. Let us sleep now. This is a poem by Wilfred Owen. This poem, it's about the stupidity of war, about the things that we lose that war takes away from us, the things that we lose. It's a conversation between a soldier who Wilfred Owen has killed, and Owen himself, and they are both in hell. And the poem is talking about the senselessness of war, the loss of all of these wonderful people who are killed, and it's talking about the stupidity of war, that war drives nations forwards and they don't know where they're going. It's a thing that destroys people, it destroys minds. So, let's see. It seemed that out of battle I escaped. So it seemed like I escaped from the battle. Down some profound tunnel, long since scooped through granites, which titanic wars had groined. So it seems like I went down this tunnel, this huge tunnel, into the earth. And maybe that's a bit ironic, because the soldiers were always tunneling into the sides of the trenches to try to make safer places for themselves. And it seems like he's going through this long tunnel which wars have carved out over the years. Yet also there encumbered sleepers groan. So there were also sleepers. Sleep gives the idea of these are people who are sleeping and happy, but these are the dead, too fast in thought or death to be bestirred. So he's going past almost like catacombs of the dead and people deep in thought. They're unable to move. Then, as I probed them, as I investigated them, one sprang up and stared, with piteous recognition in fixed eyes. So as I was investigating these bodies, one of them jumped up, and it stared at me, and it recognised me. Lifting distressful hands as if to bless. It's lifting its hands as if it's going to bless you. And by his smile I knew that sullen hall. I knew who it was. By his dead smile I knew we stood in hell. And then Owen realises that he's in hell. And I think Owen is now dead as well, and he's talking to somebody. He's talking to another soldier in hell. And all of these soldiers have come to hell. With 1,000 fears, that vision's face was grained. So the face of the person in front of him had 1,000 different fears upon his face, was clearly terrified. Yet no blood reached there from the upper ground, and no guns thumped, or down the flues made moan. So the blood from the battlefield up on top didn't flow down to this depths, and you couldn't hear the guns thumping, or you couldn't hear their sound coming down the hole which comes down to hell. Strange friend, I said, here is no cause to mourn. So I said, there's no reason to be sad here. There's no reason for sadness here. We're out of the battle. The battle's gone. Yeah, we're not in the battle anymore. And I think they're both dead talking to each other. No, said that other, save the undone years, the hopelessness. So the other one said, no, there's no cause to be sadness except for the years that I didn't live, the undone years, the hopelessness, the fact that there is no hope for the future, that people are on top are killing each other. So there is cause to mourn that I haven't lived many more years that I could have lived. Whatever hope is yours was my life also. So when you were alive, you had hopes. And I had hopes as well when I was alive. But these hopes will never be realised. I went hunting wild, after the wildest beauty in the world. So I went to look for beauty in my life. In my life I was looking for the most beautiful thing in the world, the most beautiful things in the world. And which lies not calm in eyes or braided hair, but not physical beauty, not a beautiful woman, not beautiful eyes, but mocks the steady running of the hour. It's a type of beauty that mocks, that laughs at the steady passing of time. It mocks the life just going by boringly. Was looking for a special beauty. And if it grieves richlier than here. And this beauty, if it's unhappy, if it's sad, then it's a much more beautiful sadness, a much richer sadness than you will find down here in hell. For by my glee might many men have laughed. So if I hadn't died, then the happiness of my life would have made many other people happy as well. So the fact that I'm dead is it's a sad thing, because I would have created much more happiness to other people, given to other people. And of my weeping, something had been left. And even in my sadness, there would have been something left. There would have been something that is good. So I would have left good things on the earth. I would have had people laughing, and even if I'd been sad when I was on the earth, this would have left good effects as well, which must die now. So, and these are things that can't happen now that I'm dead, now that I'm down here. This is something that has been obliterated. It's been destroyed by the war. I mean the truth untold, the pity of war, the pity war distilled. So here I mean that people don't understand the horror of war, the destructiveness of war, what a pity war is, because this is a truth that nobody talks about. Nobody talks about how destructive the war is. Nobody talks about the horror of war. I could have told them about the horrors of war, but now I'm dead. Now men will go content with what we spoiled. So now people will be happy with the destruction that this war has created. Because I can't tell them about the horrors of war, then people will be content with with what is left after this war, or discontent, boil bloody and be spilled. Or maybe they'll continue to be unhappy and they'll continue to fight and kill each other. They will be swift with swiftness of the tigress. They will be as fast as tigers. None will break ranks, though nations trek from progress. So nobody will disagree with what governments are doing, even though we are going away from progress. We're going in the opposite direction from progress. But nobody will talk about the fact that the governments are doing is wrong, that society is moving away from progress. Courage was mine, I had mystery. Wisdom was mine, I had mastery. So I was full of courage and mystery and wisdom. I was a good person to exist, to live in this world, to help this world. To miss the march of this retreating world into vain citadels that are not walled. And now I won't have to to watch this world going in the wrong direction. This world going towards cities that are not fortified, that they have ideals that are not valid. Then, when much blood has clogged their chariot wheels, I would go up and wash them from sweet wells. So when the wheels of their chariots, of their tanks, of their vehicles were just completely covered in blood, when their policies were so covered in the blood of the dead, I would go and wash them with pure water. I would go up there from sweet wells, from wells, even with truths that lie too deep for taint. So I would try to wash their policies, their politics, with things that are too true, too wonderful to be tainted by their evil, by their by the destruction of war. I would have poured my spirit without stint. I would have worked, if I had lived, I would have worked I would have done everything possible, but not through wounds. I would have worked as hard as I could to make a better society without stopping, but not by fighting. Not on the cess of war, not on the horridness of war. So I would have done everything I could to look after our society, to help our society progress, but not through fighting, not from taking part in a horrible war. Foreheads of men have bled where no wounds were. And this is talking about the mental injuries, the mental problems that people have, that the soldiers have after the war. So the minds of the soldiers are now bleeding, even though you can't see the wounds. And then we come to the last bit, the Volta, if you like, and then we suddenly discover who he's talking to. And he says, I am the enemy you killed, my friend. And I believe this is on at least one memorial to Wilfred Owen. So, you killed me. I knew you in this dark. I recognized you in the dark. For you so frowned yesterday through me as you jabbed and killed. So, and you recognized me in the same way that you jabbed at me. You used your bayonet to kill me. I parried, I pushed away, but my hands were slow, my hands were clumsy, my hands were cold, and you killed me. But let's rest now. Now we are dead, it's time to rest. So he's been talking to the enemy that he killed, and I think Owen himself is dead as well, and talking to this enemy. And clearly it's saying that they were both good people who would have done everything they could to help improve their society, but now they understand that war is a waste. War is something that is waged by politicians, by nations, and this is not something that is good. And both of them would have given everything to help their world advance, but not through war. So, Strange Meeting by Wilfred Owen.